Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios with this edition of School Police Talk. You might know the gentleman on the right, but you don't know the lady on the left. So, ma'am, please introduce us and tell us what it is that you do.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Gruby. I'm the CCSD Safe Routes to School Coordinator. So we operate an educational-based program to teach students K through 12 about traffic safety.
And you, sir, what is your name, and tell us what it is that you do?
Lieutenant Brian Zink. I'm the Operations Lieutenant for our Region 3, and I'm also the Public Information Officer for the School District Police Department, as well as our Community Relations Supervisor.
You know, it's very interesting because we had Lieutenant Campbell come on, and we talked, which is one of the things I had no idea about when we were just, you know, in the midst of talking. One of the best parts about the show is nothing is scripted.
Right.
Right. So, like, I think of things when I drive over here, or you know what I mean. And that's one of the best parts about the show. And so, one of the things I had no idea about, which was the U-turns, and that you need to get dropped off on the right-hand side so that you can get off on the curb, so you're not getting off in the middle of the road. And I would never think that. And so you would be driving this direction while someone is getting out of the car.
Right in the traffic.
And again, I come back to the fact that you might be a child and think you know everything, but you may not. And so one of the things that you might not be prepared is that you're getting out and someone is coming this direction. And so one of the best things about the Clark County School District and the police department is that they love these kids. And they love the teachers and everything. But, you know, they want to make sure that all these kids get to and from school safe. And so thanks for having him come on, and thanks for you coming on. I love when you come on. Most of the time you're off to the side, but
behind the curtain.
You know what I mean? But
no, and like Jennifer said, one of the most important components here is the communication. I think the communication with us as a district and with the other law enforcement agencies and municipalities over the last year has just expanded so much. I think it's because everyone realizes what a problem this onslaught of all these different devices. It's just almost like they were just thrown upon us all of a sudden, and nobody expected it. Nobody was prepared for it, and it just shows you how much everybody in the community cares about not only children's safety but pedestrian safety, to where all these different groups can get together, and they're actually working on legislature up in our Carson City. Cities and counties down here, or the county and city municipalities, are also working on new rules and regulations, not to tell people, hey, you can't go out there and have fun, but it's basically to rein everybody in so that everybody's safe. You know, a lot of people, especially the kids on these bikes, think, well, you're coming down on us. It's like, no, we're doing this to protect you, because you don't understand what it is to get hit by a car, when especially if it's the pedestrian's fault, what that puts the driver of that car through. You make a mistake, but then it causes ripple effect in that person's life, which shouldn't happen if you just follow some simple rules and you know, be a good pedestrian. So that's one of the big things that they work on, we work on, and a lot of the other groups that we work on in the Valley, is just basically to re-educate and teach people how to be a good pedestrian when they're out there, you know, using our roadways.
Yeah, and so when Lieutenant Campbell was on, we learned about, you know, the different CCs and how, you know, one is allowed to be on a road and one isn't. One of the things that's very interesting is that, and I know it seems sort of simple, but like, what is the difference between a pedal bicycle and an electric bicycle, right? Because people see the ones that have the pedal, but then they have the electric. And so people need to be aware that when it comes time for the gift giving that is coming up now, that they need to be cognizant of a child and what a child can do, and at what speeds, because the pedestrian safety is very, very important. And so we also know that there are a lot of people who walk their children to school, and after they're done, they're sort of starting their day for maybe work or whatever it might be. And so, you know, we need to have everyone safe. Let's look right here, and then we'll wave goodbye, okay? All right, see you later.
Thanks, Neil.